Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Okay.
see your presentation too.
Can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna start. So, hello everyone. My name is Diana Laura Zazueta Millán, and today I will present in my research project called Supporting Diverse Learning Around Inclusive Teaching Strategies. Well, in this study was conducted in my teaching context, which is third grade bilingual classroom at the Colegio Inglés de Durango, Campus Culiacán. I choose this topic because in my daily teaching practice, I know that the students have very different academic, emotional, and learning needs. Some students need more support to stay focused, others need more time to process the information, and sometimes advanced learners need additional challenges. So this made me reflect on how I could improve my teaching practice to create a more inclusive classroom where all students feel supported, engaged, and capable of learning. So I'm gonna continue. So, research focus. For this study, I work with a group of 26 students between 8 and 9 years old in a bilingual elementary classroom. The main problem was that the traditional class instruction was not equally effective for all students. And while some students could follow the lesson easily, others become distracted, frustrated, or disengaged. Because of this, I developed three research questions. First, I wanted to identify what challenge students with different learning needs face during the whole class instructions. And the second, I wanted to explore what happens when differentiating instructions and inclusive strategies are implemented. And finally, I wanted to reflect on my own lesson planning and classroom management, uh, influences students' participation and learning outcomes. Next, strategies, actions implemented. Well, to address these challenges, I implement several inclusive teaching strategies during a 4 weeks intervention. The first one strategy was differentiating instruction, which it means adapting activities according to the students. Read um, and learning profiles. I also use universal design for learning, which provides multiple ways for students to address common and demonstrate understanding. Additionally, I introduce flexible grouping, where students work in different teams depending on the activity. Other supports that include visual aids, timers to improve transitions, stronger group rules such as the leader, student choice activities, and social environment learning routines like reading exercise and also reflective activities. Finally, I collaborate with a co-teacher in some sessions to improve classroom observation and support. To collect evidence, I used three main tools. The first one was daily teacher reflection journals, where I document observation, classroom challenges, and institutional adjustments. The second tool was observation checklist, which show me monitoring participation, engagement, and students' behavior during activities. The third tool was students' work analysis, where I regard assess assignments and tasks to evaluate understanding and progress. I also collect information per feedback from my co-teacher, and this combination of these tools allowing me to survey both behaviors and academic challenge during the intervention. Key findings. Well, this result of this study show me several important findings. First, whole class instruction created barriers for many students, especially those with attention difficulties, slower processing speeds, or neurodiverse traits. At the same time, advanced learners often become bored because they finish the activity quickly. And after implementing differentiation and inclusive strategies, participation and engagement improve significantly. For example, students with autism participated more confident when give alternative ways to complete tasks, such as audio recordings, um, advanced learnings, remain engaged around extension activities and leadership opportunities. Overall classroom participate increased by approximately 30%, 30%, and comprehension scores improved between 20 and 25%. Well, impact on teaching and students. This research has a positive impact both on my students and on my own teaching practice. For students, I observed increased participation, stronger collaboration, and better emotional regulation during classroom activities. Um, Students seem me more comfortable, confident, and willing to participate. For me as a teacher, well, this project helped me to become more intentional when planning lessons, and I learned that inclusion is not only about supporting students with specific needs, but about design learning experience that are accessible for everyone. I also improve my classroom management by using routines, timers, and clearer expectations. What's next? Well, in the future, I plan to continue and implement these inclusive strategies in my classroom, especially want to maintain UDL as a regular framework for lesson designs, continue using flexible grouping and SEL routines. I also want to explore more competition opportunities because collaboration provide me value supports and help me to observe classroom dynamics more effectively. Some questions I still have are how to future support students uh, with more specific needs and how to continue balancing support for stronger learnings while keeping advanced students' challenges. And well, to conclude, this research project showed me that small but intentional instructional changes can significantly improve inclusion, engagement, and learning outcomes in a bilingual elementary classroom through differentiating instruction, UDL, structured routines, and reflective practice. Teachers can create more equitable learning opportunities for all students. And that's all for me. Thank you very much for your attention. I was nervous. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Very interesting. And you selected very difficult topic. I think it's one of the most difficult topics that I have seen. As I told you, this is a new study talking about inclusion and especially students with autism, ADHD. I have experience working since 2005 and still I don't say that I'm an expert working with the students with the autism, and so it's difficult. But well, before I have my questions, maybe your classmates have some comments or questions.
And because all of the autism students are different, not all of
Yeah,
them.
we have different levels of autism. It's another study. It's a we can if we start talking about all spectrums that then we might observe. So yeah. Okay, Ingrid has a comment or question before. Maybe if your classmates ask my question, so I don't ask anything.
Thank you. I was just wondering about differentiated learning because I have tried to use that in my classroom. I have also not that much experience with different students with different needs, but I find it pretty difficult to manage in my classroom. Well, at least around the age of students that I had that were around 8 and 9 years, because they tend to notice the differences in their task, not the complexity, but the kind of product they are going to develop or the outcome they will find. So, how did you manage to have the differentiated learning in your classroom along with the other strategies that you used? How did you manage to do it? Because that had been a challenge for me to include it, because once that I give a student something and try to work like on stages, it becomes too difficult in the classroom because they want to go with the same one, or they don't want to do it in that exact way. They want to change everything, but you have to be managing and guiding them at the same time in the same classroom. So I find it pretty difficult. How did you manage to do that?
Well, it was pretty difficult for me. Um, when I started teaching that group, I really feel that I don't have enough time to. I was feeling that I was trying very hard, but my methods and were not working with such a diverse group. So, and in this it's common to every classroom has diversity, but this specific group has a lot. And I never I don't remember to have another group like this before. So this experience helped me to reflect, learn, and do a research so I could help me for all of them. And to answer your question, I also try to make differentiation more choice based. For example, the students could choose whether to present learning around reading, drawing, speaking, or audio recording. And but it's true. If they see to the peers that are doing that, and they was thinking that why I can't do that. I can't do. I wanted to do. And also another another situation that it was hard is because the parents didn't accept that the needed the students has more needs more support, and you have to make a scaffolding differentiation and about that. But I was working and with parents first to apply those differentiation activities, and then I I was well I I talk with my students and explain them that okay, but eh, yes, you're gonna do that, but do this first. Oh, I was negotiating with them, and that was the the way to I was implement this differentiation. It was hard.
All right, Alonso, go ahead.
Well, like you said, Diana, okay, thank you very much for sharing this, you know, a very difficult topic, and we were working with that subject this semester, special education needs. It is something that English teacher were not prepared to deal with because we are trained to teach a language, right? And well, and now, okay, in the classroom, we have more diverse students with okay special needs. Uh, One observation and one recommendation, okay, Diana, Laura, always when you're going to talk to parents, that is a very risky thing to do if you do it by yourself because you're not a professional, to tell, your kid has this a special need in learning because it's not just in English. If we have diverse kids, it's not just learn English, it's learning in general. So talking to parents, maybe you were lucky in the past, but there will be some occasions that some parents will feel offended, but just, hey, who do you think you're talking to? I mean, who do you think you are? Just an English teacher. So sometimes we have to be very careful, when we want to evaluate, okay, our students. And that's one of my questions. How did you identify diversity in your classroom? Which tool did you use to identify diversity? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to identify diversity. So, which tool did you use to do that? And another thing, after you have identified that, right, diversity, okay, what are you planning to do?
That's the question, right? How
Yes.
did you identify that you had a diverse group? Because
Yeah.
basically, it's something similar to my question. How many students do you have with the ADHD, and how many students do you have with the autism, or maybe other? Is it something that you already had in your list, like a note, or your parents told you? How did you know that you had a diverse group with these problems?
Well, in my college, where in my school, we has an apartment for psychology, and I was feeling lucky because they already has a diagnosis. At the beginning of the course, the psychology tell me every of the situations of each student specifically, and I take my notes in my bitácora. And so, and the psychologists help me to run the process because even they already had a diagnosis, they didn't, the parents and specifically didn't know set beginning giving different activities or giving different exams. So I I I was lucky because I didn't was alone. The psychology helped me a lot and support me during the process to making these changes and to help to the students. That was my main objective because I don't want, I was thinking that I don't want to be another teacher that passed through their life and they didn't get nothing. They didn't has this change, this improve. And it's not for me, it's for them. I work for my students uh, and I don't teach that group anymore, but I was so happy about all the steps and changes that made them with them because I was really supported by my psychology uh, apartment in the student in a classroom in the
So,
school.
so
So
how many students? Do you remember how many students
yeah.
you had, like with the needs?
In that group, I was having two students with autism and I was having 5 students with the other, I don't remember the letters.
ADHD, you said?
Yes, that's true. And also I had students that they was in third grade, and I had students that didn't know how to read and write. So imagine, how can I teach to someone that didn't know how to write and read even in Spanish? So
Okay.
it was really hard for me, but with patience and a lot of work, I make these little changes in in my teaching classes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, it's difficult. All right. So anybody else would like to say anything? Yes,
I,
Cristobal?
I have a question.
Oh, Carmen.
Um,
Okay, go ahead.
okay, Diana, from your experience, what would be the most important advice for us in case to have a student with the special needs?
Well, first of all, I think that you had to be pretty patient, because is even if you don't have that kind of students all the time, is difficult. We have different challenges during our all dates. And so the first one is be patient. And the other one, if you had an psychologist in your school, uh, work work with with she and also uh, she really support me because she give me a lot of strategies that can I can implement. So she teach me a lot, and I learn about her. And the other key was that I have a lot of communication with the previous teachers. They give me a lot feedback and recommendations that I can implement to that kind of students, and because they was teaching them during a year, so they explained me. And so the communication with the parents, always try to be kind. Always try to explain them in the, I don't know, in Spanish, we said con pincitas, because it's difficult. It's difficult for them, it's difficult for you, and it's more difficult for students, but it's the most important part.
Yeah, especially if parents do not accept that they have these issues. But I agree with Alonso. He said that you need to be careful when you talk to parents.
Mhm.
But well, here, like answering a little bit to Carmen's question, you need to be lucky to have parents because I think this is the most important path is to go hand in hand with parents. If parents are ready to help you, that is the best source. Yes. For example, I had one parent, I had an autism student, and the mother always were coming and asking, talking to me, telling me what he was saying. He never talked to me like about the class or something, but he was always communicating his experience to his parents. So what I figured out, that I was like, mom once told me, you know what? He said you are his favorite teachers. Like, why? And she told me some like things. I was like, what I was doing? I didn't do anything special. But what she said made me reflect. She said, the thing is that you treat him the same way as others. And then I was like, yes, always. I was really afraid of autism student, but I had to deal. I had to work with that situation. So, anytime we worked, what I was doing, I was first checking on other students. Like, for example, do you need any help? Okay, how are you doing, guys? All right. And then I was going to that student. So I would never just go with him and do you need help? What I mean is not having him like a special, only the one who who needed help, right? So I was showing that I also give support to other students, and he is one of those students who also might need help, right? There was another thing. Well, basically, yeah, he was participate. He loved participating in front. So I didn't do anything special, but I just tried to treat him the same way as others. So I didn't give any special activities for him. He was always included. Okay, he was always part of the class like a normal person. And that was maybe a word for me to hear this. It's always nice to hear that you are a favorite teacher, right? But well, so that's
Thank you.
my suggestion.
Okay, thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
it was Cristobal and then Ingrid, okay?
Okay, first, Carmen, congratulations. Sorry because I have trouble with my computer, so very good job. Okay, and Diana, very interesting your topic because I think nowadays we have to be ready for those type of students. And in my case, especially during this course, I have this two students who has a shadow teacher. So there is an extra person in the classroom, so it modifies the environment. But besides that, they are focused only on that students. The rest of the students are like curious about what they're doing, etc. So what do you think about that help like extra help? Do you think it's necessary that these students need a shadow teacher or extra help?
Well, it depends of I was telling in during the questions. We had different kind of autism, so none of them need the same kind of help. None of them has I don't know how can I say, none of them has to express themselves by their own using a big language vocabulary. So in my case, I was pretty lucky because he was like another student. He was so independent and he was so smart. And but I always remember that yeah, he is so smart, but he's still a kid and they make some things that he knows that it's grown, but he did it because he want to play. He want to he. But I in my case, it does. He didn't feel bad if I give you a different work or a different, specifically different exam. he he said, okay, I'm working is best for me because I'm gonna finish first is easily. That was he think. But in another experience that I had previously, with another different student with autism, he didn't want to make a different exam. So it depends of the student. It depends of the kind of autism that it has. But in my case, my student was so independent and he doesn't care if the other ones make the difficult activity. I always try to say to him, okay, he always tell me in the mornings, teacher, I want to see Pocoyo today. Okay, yes, I'm gonna play Pocoyo, but when you finish activities, okay. And then And then she told me, no, only three. No. All the activities. If you want to watch Pocoyo, you have to finish all the activities like your purse. And then he take a seat and finish all the activities because he really want to watch Pocoyo, but he didn't pay attention to the video because he was running around the class during the video all the time, and and I had to say to him, stop, it's time to drink water. And so always depends on the kind of autism that they have.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And who else? Ingrid, right? Wanted to
Yes, thank
go
you.
ahead.
I was just wanting to give some advice that has worked with me, that to set clear aims with the family, with the parents. I found that extremely helpful, and I have read some pieces that is the first thing that we should be doing as teachers to set the goal. If the student is going to be in the classroom, to better the academic part, the social part, the intrapersonal part, or which part, because by addressing that with parents, we are going to be clear on what to be assessing with the student. If we are going to be putting a little bit of pressure in the academic of the learning journey that they are going to be having, or if they are going to help them to develop independency or something different. And that is going to clear a little bit, you're going to be working better with the parents because you are going to be going in the same path. They are going to be knowing that they might not finish all the activities, but they're going to start mingling around with the students, with the rest of the class, or the other way. They are going to focus in the academic content because they are going behind, but now they need to focus better on that not playing with the rest of the class or something different. And also, if you have a shadow teacher, to work the same. That's something that has helped me a lot when I have different students. Of course, that I don't know how to treat all of my students the same and how to manage each of the experiences they have, but I try to do it by talking all together about what we need to be doing in each of the cases. So that's something that I can tell that has worked with me.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much for your advice. Yeah, all of us are learning to work in a diverse groups, right, of students. So it's complicated, but all the time we implement some new strategies. And if they work well, this is like kind of plus for us. But again, it doesn't mean that it will work with another group. But we can always adjust, adapt, and well, as we have a positive intention, so obviously the results must be positive, right? Okay, guys, so basically we finished today. Yeah, thank you very much for right, not well, coming and participating and being actually ready. I enjoyed it a lot, and hopefully we see each other having a different session before you finish or before your final task. So I will let you know. Keep in touch. And well, that's all from me. If you don't have any questions or doubts, so then have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, good night.